While we were away, Kyle Lewis and Lance Smale came out of the LCQ, the last chance qualifier, in first and second place, and they'll fill the final 2 positions at the gate. So 20 riders are ready as far as the 250 main is concerned. And right now the parade lap is underway for the future superstars of the sport, the 125s. John Dowd, number 9, won the opener in Los Angeles, hit the podium in 3rd in Houston, and leads the 125 West points by only 6 points, ahead of last week's winner, David Vuillemin. Roncada, Pingree, and Brandis all close. They're in the top 5. So John Dowd goes into this race the points leader. But look out for Vuillemin. Last week's winner won his second 125 race last week. Last year, you might remember, he bested the field in Seattle, running once again a limited schedule before going back to Europe.
I'm here just to take experience with American riders because they are more aggressive, and I'm here for training for World GP. My goal is not to be first in the championship.
David Vuillemin may be racing here just for the experience, but there are several American riders hoping he'd get to his GP contractual responsibilities a little earlier. The youngster from Marseille started like many of his American peers.
My father was a road racing, and he did like a Boulder in France, and 24 hours of Le Mans. It's a big race in France. And when I was 3, I go on a bike on a pit in a road. And but I begin motocross at 8. So, and after I did all the French championship.
Vuillemin told us he is his natural self on the track, but has tried to combine the talents of his 2 idols. He liked Bradshaw's aggressiveness and countryman Jean-Michel Bayle's smooth lines.
Jean-Michel Bayle was so technical on the bike, and I like that, to be smooth. And I like also the aggressivity of Damon Bradshaw in the past, in '92. So I think if you can be a little bit like Jean-Michel, a little bit like Damon, you can be a good rider.
To do so well in America so soon, David Vuillemin will no doubt have more than one ride awaiting him when he returns to the States with the points battle on his agenda.
The Frenchman from Marseille, destined for stardom, as we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid. Roncada won his heat race, and so did number 111, Jeff Matasevich. And David Bailey, this is an interesting situation.
Well, it's interesting from my point of view, because the way the track's laid out, we're seeing a lot of block passing. And if anybody can remember back to when Matasevich was riding over here in the States full time, he and Bradshaw, a lot of riders going at him. Matasevich has no conscience. He'll go in there and take you down, put you over the bales if he has to. He's got that look in his eye tonight. Marty said he saw him down there on the starting line, and he wants to win here. That little heat win was a boost of confidence for him.
The great crowd looking on. And Marty Reed, how has that track progressed?
Well, we've talked about it being hard pack all night long. Let's show you up close just how hard it's really getting. Take a look at this corner. The guys are coming in. That's rubber, folks. We're laying it down. These guys are really chewing this baby up, but it is holding up really well. This is some of the best dirt we've ever seen out in a desert atmosphere.
You know, we were watching the guys get ready there doing the parade lap, and I got to tell you, David Vuillemin won practice right there. While the other guys are out checking out the track and sampling, Vuillemin's doing heel clickers, playing up to the crowd. You know, he really doesn't have a lot of pressure on him.
Right now, the pressure is starting to mount as the 30-second board is up. The goggles are going on. Jeff Matasevich, boy, did he twitch. He's shaking that head, getting ready. There's Dowdy, number 9, and Matasevich right on his right side.
Most of the favorites are lined up to the inside. They know that first corner is going to get busy in there. The guy that goes in there and is probably the meanest is going to come out first.
Many of the riders shaving down the knobs on their tires so they can get more traction on this very, very slick track, and they're off. The 125 main is underway. Look at number 9, John Dowd. He'll get the holeshot money. And David Vuillemin is right there in second place. Vuillemin, who had such a great practice time today in timing this very difficult course. So it's Vuillemin along with John Dowd, and we already have a battle for first underway.
That battle for first has already got about 45, 50 yards over third. It's amazing, this battle right here.
Nathan Ramsey and Roncada, two guys who have gotten mixed up. I mean, literally banged into each other in past races, are in third and fourth.
I tell you, this is the race that Vuillemin's been waiting for. He's trying to prove himself and prove what his quality is so he can get a job next year. He's got to show that he can beat Dowd. That's very important. Last week was a walkover for him, but Dowd got a bad start. No such problem tonight. We see Vuillemin taking different lines through there.
Ramsey trying to hold off Roncada coming down the inside. These guys have a lot of different lines through that. There you see some of the block passing and bumping.
And Vuillemin out in front of John Dowd. Vuillemin, can he win his second race in a row in the 125 West?
Man, he just motored down through those whoops. He looked like a 250 guy. Reminds me of Damon Huffman. He used to ride the 125 class. Looked better than 250 guys through there.
Matasevich holding off a pack of riders right now. Didn't get the best start. He wheelied out of the gate, had to back off a little bit. That cost him dearly.
He's in fifth spot. Jeff Matasevich, number 111. But he's got lots of time in our 15-lap main event for the 125. Vuillemin is pulling away from John Dowd. Of course, Vuillemin now isn't considered in the points race, really. I mean, he's going to get points for it. As you see the battle, Ryan Huffman, number 28, and number 111, Jeff Matasevich.
What set that up was Huffman blew it coming out of the corner after the finish line jump. Matasevich got a good run out of there, out horsepowered him, and just moved over, took the line away. It's going to be a lot of blocking tonight to protect your line and a lot of block passing to try to pick up a position.
So it's Vuillemin, Dowd, Roncada, and Jeff Matasevich, the top four.
Vuillemin already starting to pull away out front to stay on this battle. It's so hard for a rider to break away. You have to ride so defensive. Now you can see that as Matasevich comes through that section, you can look over right next to him, see the leaders going around another section of the track. Very demoralizing.
The 125s continue from the hard pack at Sun Devil Stadium when we return.
AMA Supercross is being brought to you by Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. Quality training for the motorcycle industry.
Wyndham is so good on a flat corner. If he wasn't, Roncada would have made that pass.
As Kevin Wyndham starts to pull a little lead, let's go back a little bit now to third place. Brandis, number 33, is getting a heck of a challenge from 24. Look at Robbie Ryder, just cleanly squeaks by him now on the triple. The checkers for Kevin Wyndham, and a great ride for this young man, an Eastern 125 rider, Stephane Roncada. Giving a high five to Kevin Wyndham. He's got to be a very thrilled young man. Robbie Reynard will place on the podium in third. Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium. Our leader, number 934. Don't let the number confuse you. He won last week in Houston. He likes to be called David in Europe, but he's called David, he says. He wants to be called David here in America. David Vuillemin. Very impressive. John Dowd in second place. Roncada in third. Ryan Huffman is now in fourth with John Matasevich as we rejoin the action in fifth.
Yeah, I've been watching Vuillemin trying to figure out what he's doing different than John Dowd. And one of the things he's doing is he's jumping out through the roofs. Right now we're looking at Matasevich and Huffman bound over that fifth spot, going down across the start straight. But Vuillemin is actually jumping through the whoops, whereas everyone else seems to be pounding through them.
Here's the battle once again as we go back to Huffman and Matasevich. Ryan Huffman, number 28, on the Suzuki, battling with Jeff Matasevich. Matasevich, and Huffman gets his rear tire tipped that time by Ramsey.
Oh, I think he got hurt on that one, too. He's not looking at the bike. He's in pain. We'll see if we can take another look exactly what happened there. Watch his foot. Yep, he got his foot tagged right there by...
It was Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey coming in trying to make that pass. That's too bad. He was starting to pick up the pace, putting a lot of pressure back on Matasevich. Thought he might be able to get around him, but it's over for him now.
Pingree moving into sixth spot behind Ramsey. Matasevich It's Vuillemin, Dowd, and Roncada, the top three. Vuillemin, number 934.
Here's what I'm talking about. See how he's jumping through the whoops? Everyone else kind of machine guns it through it, touches on every whoop. Vuillemin is jumping through. Now, that's pretty unorthodox. On a 125, if you're tall, you can do that.
He had an easy, smooth ride in Houston, gentlemen, for his second career 125 victory, his first victory of this year. He won Seattle last year, had 2 seconds, one in Los Angeles and one in Minnesota. He had the flu in the opening round and took a 7th place in Los Angeles this year.
His corner speed is really impressive, and that's what is so critical tonight. See Dowd there exiting that corner at the finish line. He's behind that entire straightaway to Vuillemin now. It hasn't been that long since Vuillemin took over the lead, and already you can see from Dowd's point of view how far behind he's dropped.
John Dowd in 2nd place, and we don't have very many laps remaining.
He's riding good. I mean, he's doing extremely well through the whoops. He's strong. Little bobble there, but still didn't really lose much time. And he's just dropping time to Vuillemin. So that is not saying that Dowd isn't riding well tonight, because he is just smoking Roncada, who I thought looked great in practice and certainly looked like he was going to win Houston until he got a little over anxious. And Vuillemin's pulling away from all of them.
Guys, the Los Angeles track was really his personal order with the dampness in the air and the roughness of the track. He's a tough, strong finisher, and his win in Los Angeles was right up his alley.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Dowd do well at some of the other tracks where it starts to get rutted. The track gets softer. Not that he's not doing well here. He's maintaining his points lead, but
Matasevich is starting to get a challenge for his 4th position. Ramsey, as we take a look at the Honda stopwatch, and starts tripping by about a 4-second lead on Dowd.
That's Eric Vallejo right there. He's been lapped. Now here comes Roncada. Look at it. He's going to be 12, 14 seconds behind there, but he's all by himself.
Roncada is starting to use a lot of the same style, David, you pointed out with Vuillemin. He's jumping through there tonight, starting to time the whoops better.
Here's the battle. Ramsey on the inside of the whoops against Matasevich.
They're having a good battle, but the bad news is they're nowhere near the leaders.
And David Pingree behind them. Out in the left corner, you see Ramsey makes the pass on Jeff Matasevich.
Seems like if you can get up next to a guy and position yourself on the inside for the upcoming corner, just out-jump him on something. Even if you've got to go out and jump all the way to the flat, as long as you beat him into the corner, you can make the pass.
Yeah, it looks like Ramsey might have been inspired by getting the kitty wheels put on his bike.
I'll tell you what, we just saw Vuillemin pull a 54.6 there. And guys, I got to ask you this question. John Dowd, the oldest guy out there, he's a veteran rider. You take Dowd out of the equation. We got 2 French guys just spanking the Americans. What is going on in France? They're turning out so many good Supercross riders now.
And it'd be different if they lived together or practiced at the same track, but they come from different parts of France.
And they're very, very competitive with one another. You don't get that Corona spirit where there's a lot of cooperation. Vuillemin and Roncada, they might be in the same pits together, but they probably talk less than any of the Americans do.
Well, while we're on that subject, I thought it was pretty neat that these guys come over here and learn English so fast. There aren't many Americans that go over and learn French.
So Vuillemin is our leader as we take a look at the Suzuki Field summary with John Dowd safely tucked into 2nd, Roncada 3rd, Ramsey and Matasevich. Will this order change? We'll find out when we get back. With 5 laps to go in our 125 main, it's Vuillemin, Dowd, Roncada, Ramsey, Matasevich, and Pingree. That is our top 6. This is our leader, number 934, David Vuillemin. Let's get out to Marty Reed.
Hey, Brian Barry, your man's an American meat and a French sandwich right now.
Yeah, well, hopefully you can put some mayo on it or something to pass these guys. And I don't know. Right now, Vuillemin's riding really good, so it's going to be tough.
It's holding at about 4 seconds margin a lap.
Yeah, it's pretty much been the same for a while now, and we need to close that up. This is his time. If he can do it, he's going to do it now. So we'll see what happens.
Guys, he always feels that his rider's stronger in that last third. We're into that stretch right now.
And the lapped riders will also start to play a part. Usually that it's in the favor of the guy in 2nd, because by the time 2nd comes around, they're already aware that the leaders are moving through, and they tend to get out of the way a little bit more. So that could be an advantage of Dowd. Doesn't always work that way, but I'm sure he's hoping for it.
John Dowd last year running in the 125 East. Had 2 wins last year, 2 wins the year before, and is looking for his second win here with Vuillemin way out in front.
Hey, just a note from earlier in the race, I'm seeing Ryan Huffman. He's up and walking around down the infield. They pushed his bike off for a minute there on that accident. It looked like he might have snapped his leg or something, but he's up walking around. So if you're a Ryan Huffman fan, we're going to have to look for him in Seattle next week.
Take a look at Vuillemin, the leader, working his way to the finish line jump. Pointed out last weekend in Houston, one of the taller 125 riders with a great style. He just sets the bike down wherever he wants it, gets traction wherever he wants it, takes whatever line he wants through the lapped riders.
Field summary might change.
That's Matasevich. We just saw Matasevich on the far side of the track. He did almost a Superman. He tried to triple that jump. He landed whenever Vuillemin comes around making a look at it, but it looks like Chicken is out. And man, the bad luck for Pro Circuit just continues.
Matasevich still down on the course, shaking his head like, why did I do that?
And what a rude welcome back to the United States for Chicken.
7-second lead now for Vuillemin.
Obviously put his head down pretty hard. He lost his visor.
It doesn't look like he's hurt, though, thank goodness, as we take a look at Stephane Roncada in third behind Dowd and Vuillemin. Well, the top 3, the podium, pretty well defined right now, guys.
Well, this is actually the second podium Vuillemin's made, because like I said earlier, the guy pretty much won the parade lap doing heel clickers and stuff. David, is that one of the things that get you psyched up for a race, or is that just stupid?
I think that's a good psychological thing for some guys. Vuillemin obviously likes to go out there and get the crowd behind him, get really warmed up. I mean, you think about it, you go back in the pit and you sit there and you don't do anything really. And then you come out here and you've got to go 15 laps, hard as you can go, and that's just a little bit better transition for him.
Snell moving into 6th place as Ryan Huffman looks like he's got a rib injury there. Or he might be even holding his arm like he has a collarbone situation.
Yeah, it looked like it was his foot, but maybe...
let's go down to Marty right now.
Guys, I talked to him, and he said it's either my muscles right at the top of my chest area or my lower rib section. And he is heading off, and he is in very much discomfort.
Okay, we're on the white flag lap now, as Vuillemin already passed the finish line jump.
There'll be some heel clickers. This kid's got such a big lead. He's going to do everything he can to try to make it a little bit more exciting for the fans. He's made it boring enough so far. I think he's going to try to make up for that here on the triple.
Such a smooth rider. And I think all the French guys are super conscious of their image with the American public here and wanting to get the fans behind them, especially after they know Jean-Michel Bale, one of Vuillemin's heroes, wasn't that kindly accepted by the American public.
Yeah, and you know, they've all been chasing the ghost of Bale, but that's one thing they don't want to copy was his inability to communicate with the American fans.
Vuillemin making the final turn. The checkers are ready. The checkers are waving. David Vuillemin puts his hands in the air in victory. He has now captured his 3rd 125 Supercross victory, his 2nd victory in a row.
Well, it's not a heel clicker, but it's just about everything else.
Vuillemin, Dowd, Roncada will be on that podium, and we'll get on to Marty to hear from the Frenchman right after this. Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium, and once again, the Frenchman from Marseille, David Vuillemin, wins his 2nd consecutive 125 West victory. John Dowd hanging on to the points lead with Stephane Roncada in 3rd. Nathan Ramsey, a good finish for Ramsey, and David Pingree, another consistent finish for him, but they were way back of the leader. And let's go down to Marty Reed, who's with our winner.
David Vuillemin 2 for 2 here in a row, and he's very, very convincing, especially through the whoop section. I mean, you were flying him, everybody else is sort of stuttering over.
Yeah, I did a good start. I got 2nd, and I didn't make a good heat race, so I was not so confident on a race. But now I
took a good start, and after I did my rest, and I passed John in 3 or 4 first lap, and after I make a little bit more, and I was the fastest, I think, so I win easy.
Your fellow countryman, Stephane Roncada, you're first and third. We were talking about it during the race. If Dowd isn't there, it's a French sweep first and second. Why are you guys doing so well right now?
But we have a French championship in France, so I began racing with Stephane. Since maybe 10 years we are again together, so we did a good race, and that proves French can be faster, you know, and I think I'm very happy for us.
Well, guys, they proved they were faster tonight.
As we take a look at the Suzuki points standing, it is still John Dowd on top of the standings, but only by 3 points as Vuillemin shaved it down. Roncada, who's going to run the entire series, as opposed to Vuillemin, who has to leave for the GPs in Europe, is only 9 points in back of Dowd. So Roncada still very much in the hunt. The 125 celebration is going to run down as we get ready for what makes Supercross great. The 250 main event. Emig, McGrath, Lusk & Company coming up next.